Do you want to smell juicy and sweet like cherry this summer? Listen up, I have a couple of recommendations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's talk about these fragrances, and I will try my best to make this video as short as possible. I'm going to start with this fragrance. This is Sinful by Okja. And let me tell you, this is definitely perfect name for this fragrance. This was my first cherry fragrance. And this fragrance right here made me fall in love with cherries. It's inspired by Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. And actually, a lot of fragrances that have a cherry note are inspired by that iconic fragrance. So I do not have Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. I did smell it, and I can tell you for some reason I do prefer this one better. Tom Ford's Lost Cherry is quite complex fragrance. It has 17 notes. Don't get me wrong, it is beautiful fragrance, but for some reason I prefer this better. This one has only 9 notes, and the top notes are identical to Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. Opens up with cherry, cherry liquor, and bitter almond. I just love this fragrance. Love so much. Mostly I do smell that juicy cherry, and I definitely smell that nutty almond note that I really love. It's simple. It really is simple fragrance, but it's just so beautiful. It's summer-like fragrance. It layers perfectly with so many other things, other fragrances. Just beautiful fragrance. And of course, this red, gorgeous bottle. Love red. It's my color. Now, let's talk about this beauty right here by Hamidi. It's called Sublime Cherry, and it is one of the fragrances from the Lost Paradise collection. It was launched in 2023. This one is also inspired by Tom Ford's Lost Cherry, but let me tell you, they are so different. They are so different. And I was surprised that it was inspired by this fragrance, because to me, this is a whole different level. This is my, I don't want to say my favorite, but I kind of gonna say this is my favorite cherry fragrance. What surprises me about this fragrance is the notes. When I look at the notes now, and I think that when I got this fragrance before, I guess I just took a risk. I really did not look into the notes that much. I got this fragrance from Beauty House. It was sent me as a gift, and I just was happy to have a gift, you know. But let me tell you, if I would have purchased this fragrance, I would have been probably really saying no to that. This fragrance, besides the obvious, the cherry, it has the notes that I do not like. It has leather and it has incense, and I do not like those notes in the fragrance. But those are the notes that make this fragrance to stand out from every single cherry fragrance that I own in my collection. So this is absolutely amazing fragrance. It's different, it's unique, and that's why I love it so much. This is not your typical cherry. It's not your typical juicy cherry. It has a kick, it has a spice. Now, I will be honest to you, this is unisex, and I can see men rocking it. I can see women rocking this fragrance. However, as much as I love this fragrance, I would say this is probably the least safest, lined by women, because not every single girl loves the fragrance that has that character and that kick. I love it because that's my personality. My husband loves this fragrance. Now, usually he does not like the fragrances that are even a hint of manly scent. So he does not find this manly on me. So he thinks this is a very beautiful fragrance. So we both love it. But I'm just saying that some women might not necessarily love this fragrance because it has that incense and leather and osmanthus and some woody notes. So it's definitely different take on cherry fragrance. So I love it. I absolutely love it. And of course, this bottle is so gorgeous. So if I want to smell like cherry, but smell different and unique, this is the fragrance that I wear. And this is the fragrance that I recommend. Now, let's talk about Divine Cherry, which is a sister for this fragrance. So this one is also by Hamidi, and it's also a part of Lost Paradise collection. And of course, it's also very gorgeous. Look at this bottle. Look at this beautiful juice. Now, this one is also kind of sort of inspired by Tom Ford's Lost Cherry. I'm telling you, that is a one popular fragrance. I feel like everybody wants to smell like it, yet they are all different. Because none of those fragrances are identical to Tom Ford. So I'm okay having a few versions of those fragrances because they're not smelling identical to Tom Ford. The notes are not identical. Now, this is the one that if I would say if you love cherry note, this is a safe blind purchase. It's juicy, it's cherry, it has raspberry, and guess what? The heart has a marshmallow note. I actually forgot about that. Yes, it has a marshmallow note. So it definitely adds sweetness to this fragrance. It's beautiful. It's divine. Even though they are two sisters from the same Lost collection, they are very, very different. Very, very different. Safe, adventurous. Both of them layer beautifully together. Just saying. Let's talk about Victoria's Secret's Bombshell. This is Bombshell Intense. Simple fragrance. It has only 3 notes: cherry, red peony, and vanilla. I'm telling you, this fragrance right here is my husband's #1 fragrance on me. He's obsessed with this one. I remember I bought this fragrance a while ago, and I just bought like a sample, actually like a little spray travel size bottle. And my husband literally was like, you gotta get more. They might run out, they might stop. You gotta get more of those. He wanted me to get like 2-3 bottles of this because that's how much he loved it on me. So this is like a man's magnet. I love this fragrance as well. I'm actually very surprised that it has only 3 notes. It is not my favorite, but it's definitely a very, very beautiful fragrance. And I definitely recommend to grab that if you are at Victoria's Secret. Since my husband loved this one so much, I decided to get another Bombshell that also has that cherry note. It does have black cherry instead of the regular cherry. It has peony, vanilla, and blonde woods. And those woodsy notes, what makes this fragrance different from this. So, bottle, gorgeous. Really love that. I personally think I might like this better than this one. Let me see. They're very close, by the way. They're very close. They're very similar. I think I like this better. I think, but my husband still loves this better. I personally think they're very, very similar in scent, but one time I mixed them up by accident. I thought that I put this, and I actually ended up putting this. And my husband was able to tell that I was not wearing Bombshell Intense. He said, nope, that's not it. I've got myself a man that definitely knows his sense or my sense. And the last one is Forbidden Love by Maison Alhambra. Maison Alhambra is making some good fragrances. Now this one is also inspired by Lost Cherry. Now this one and this one, they are kind of definitely sisters. And this is also a very, very beautiful fragrance. I always have a little bit issue taking a cap off somehow. All right, I definitely smell a lot of like cherries here. Beautiful, beautiful. I'm just trying to see how. To me, they're very, very alike. They're not identical in notes, but they're very, very alike. I recommend them both, obviously. But this is just literally, I really think if you love cherries, this is definitely very safe cherry fragrance to buy if you want to buy as a blind purchase. Okay, so this was my cherry collection. I am curious to know your favorite cherry fragrance. Let me know. Recommend me something. Maybe I need to add something else to my beautiful cherry collection. And I'm telling you, this is beautiful cherry collection. Every single fragrance I would purchase again. I would. I love it.